Hello, Teacher Tribe. I'm Shauna, and I'm here today to help make your techie nerdy world a little less frustrating. On this video, I'll be showing you how to begin the creation of your first virtual app like this. I'm going to show you how to find or design your color palette, how to create the organization and destination of your links, and the first steps of setting up your virtual app. If you find this video helpful, please click the button right there to subscribe, and I'll keep making more videos to help you navigate the world of tech. So let's get started. The first step to creating your virtual app is design a color palette. There are many ways to do this, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites. At my school, our students are divided up into teams named after colleges. This means that some basic colors can already be picked for you. Maybe your school district has a color theme, or you have a favorite university yourself. If that's the case, try searching for the name of the school, followed by the words color palette. Most universities and many K-12 schools publish their official branding colors online like this. And these are great resources. So as you can see, Cornell already has given us a great color palette to work with. Perhaps you have a favorite color that you want to be the center of your app. I like to use the website colors.co. This website generates professional-looking color palettes for web applications and graphic design. If you're feeling brave, you can simply have it generate a random palette for you, like this. Or you can start with a base color and let it find complementary colors that look great online. Once you have your colors picked out, keep this page open for your reference. You're going to need these numbers right here in your design. These are hexadecimal color codes and allow precision in keeping your color palette consistent throughout your entire design. So for this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and use these beautiful Cornell colors that have been predefined for me. And I'm going to start my design for my virtual app. But before we do anything fun with this design, we need to make a little bit of a list. Before you start adding buttons and links and things like that, you need to make a decision about where you want your links to go. So for example, you will see down here that I've started kind of brainstorming where I'm going to put things. So maybe one of my links will go to my school newsletter. Maybe I have one that links to my school district. Maybe I want to link to my city library. Maybe I'm also going to include a class schedule, some information about myself, some contact pages. Perhaps I have my classroom library on a digital form and I want students to be able to click to that easily. Maybe you use a learning management system like Canvas or Google Classroom for your instruction. You can easily link to that. And you can create a list of links and resources. After you've decided where you want your app buttons to go through and decide, are these going to be outside links or these are things that you need to create? And that's all you need to do at this point. Once you have this, and I like to put it in the notes section, the speaker notes section, I'm going to minimize this and we're going to start talking about the actual design. So the very first step when you open up your first presentation is to get rid of all of this stuff. Now there's two ways you can do it. You can go up here, you can click on each thing and hit delete, or you can come over to your formatting options or your slide options and apply whatever layout you want. So I like to do this because it makes it quick. I scroll down to here, I click on blank, and it takes away all of that stuff. But if you notice, this is the dimensions of our screens. This doesn't necessarily look like a web app for a phone. So the first thing I'm going to do after this is go down here to page setup. And you will see that it auto defaults to widescreen depending on the dimensions of your display. We're going to click on custom and we're going to change this to 9 by 14. This is the scalable dimensions that fits most phone browsers. After we've done that, we need to pick a background. Now, I recommend that you go with a color background and not an image background. It makes loading quicker. It also is a little bit easier to see. I prefer dark backgrounds because I like to use bright colors to make them pop. So you're going to choose a color or an image, and then you're going to click Done. Now, if you do choose an image, there is an option in here that you can do a Google image search or you can upload. But like I said, I really like to just use the color. So there's our basic app. Now, for it to really be an app, we're going to need some buttons. Now, hopefully you've already watched the video about how to create and find images, and you've got some buttons in mind that match these things that you're going to link to. But the first thing is to make the boxes. To create the buttons, we're going to go right here to the Add Shapes button. We're going to scroll down to Shapes, and we're going to click on this curved rectangle or rounded rectangle. From here, I'm just going to draw a rectangle. I'm not worried about the size of it yet because we're going to define the sizes. If you don't have the format options pane over on this right-hand side, you're going to click on these three little dots and you're going to click on Format Options. And from here, we're going to define the size of buttons. For a standard virtual app to have 3 buttons across and 3 buttons down, you want to change the size of your buttons to 2.4 by 2 inches. Once you've done that, you'll see you've got a button that can fit 3 across. And then this is where it just takes a little bit of time. I'm going to highlight my button and I'm going to hit Control C. And then I'm going to hit Control V. And I'm going to keep making buttons until I have 9 buttons. And I'm not worried about where they're going yet. Just kind of putting them out there. All right. So as you see, we now have 9 buttons. Now, if you like white buttons, you're ready to move on. But for those of us who picked that color palette, this is where we get to start playing with colors. So I'm going to go over to the color palette that I selected, and I think I'm going to focus most of my buttons on these 3 colors. I'm going to use these for text and enhancements. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the color and I'm going to copy this hex code. Again, you can do this by holding down Control and hitting C. Or if you're on a Mac, you would use Command and then C. And I'm going to come over here, highlight this, and I'm going to click on my Fill button. And I'm going to start defining some custom colors. So you'll see when I type that hex code in or when I copy that hex code in, it automatically goes to that blue. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to make 3 of my buttons blue. Then I'm going to come back over to my color palette and I'm going to grab the next color. Make sure it's highlighted, copy, and I'm going to select this button. Again, go to Custom, hit the plus sign, copy that color or paste that color, click OK. And I can keep doing this. And then we have one more color. Copy, select, fill, plus, paste, and off we go. And now you'll see we have 9 buttons that match our color theme that we used. So now, if you're like me, you're looking at these saying they don't match up. They don't make much sense where they are. And they don't. So you're going to highlight 3 in a row, go to Arrange, and then you're going to ask it to distribute them horizontally across the page. And it's going to line them up so that they're well spaced out. I do that for each row. Then I also line them up across the top. This is where it gets a little tricky, but it's pretty quick. So I'm going to line them up across the top so that they match up across. Align top, align top. And then I'm going to highlight my 3 again. There we go. And I'm going to start just trying to arrange them so that they look right in the center. You'll see that little red line shows up that tells you that you are centered. There we go. Now, depending on what you plan on adding to the top, adding to the bottom, I might add a neat little text box down here for special announcements. You can do that pretty easily. You can fill it with one of your colors. You can do some different changes to it for position, for shadowing, things like that. But you can see that's pretty much the basic layout of your app. But you don't really know what those buttons are doing. So this is where we go back to those images that hopefully you found in advance. So I'm going to go here to Insert. I'm going to go to Image and Upload from my computer. And I'm going to find those images that I have removed the background from that match the buttons that I'm wanting to use. So this one right here is Contact Me. It's going to show up pretty big. I'm going to lock the aspect ratio so that I don't mess it up and make it look funny. And I'm going to shrink it down so it fits on one of the buttons. And then just move it. Go to the next one, Insert, Image, Upload. Select your next one. Well, this is the link to my city library. So I'm going to put it right here. And you'll keep going through this process until you have all of your buttons filled, and you can add your text down here. So at this point, you have a beautifully designed but not yet functional virtual application for your classroom. In the next videos, I'll show you how to design your follow-up pages and how to make it all work. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel to stay updated with future videos. And if you have any ideas for content you would like to see, let me know. Have a great day.